Alright guys, so I am working on a 2005 Honda Civic. This car is supposed to be another tech, but he's on vacation, so I'm doing it for him. And apparently I'm just doing a slave cylinder, right? And a master cylinder. And trying to get into the parking lot, clutch pedals right to the floor, right? And I thought I could just stick it in gear, start the car, and drive it in, right? But as you can see, it's in gear and it's not going anywhere. And I got the car running. Oh yeah, this thing also has 274,000 kilometers. So yeah, let's take a look underneath the hood. Yeah, see why, because I'm a little confused because I thought I can, just put it in gear and drive it at least, but had to roll it down the ramp and got into my bay without, having to push it in anymore. So yeah, let's at least take a look underneath the hood and see why. Putting it in gear does nothing because I didn't diagnose this job. Okay, I took a look and you can see that's a slave cylinder and it's cockeyed because it's pushing on it, but it's also this way and it's engaged or disengaged the clutch right now. So yeah, so let's remove the slave cylinder and the master cylinder. Oh, before I do anything, I'm gonna disconnect the master cylinder from the clutch pedal. So I gotta remove this little cover here. All right, remove that, and let's see how is it connected to this clutch. Oh, okay, there's a pin, right, and there's a clip that keeps it in there. So I just gotta disconnect it. I guess it looks like there's a couple nuts on the back. You can see it, all right. And I think the tough part is trying to get it on the other side because the strut mounts on is blocking it. So disconnect it and I'll show you what it looks like underneath the hood. Alright, so probably tough to see here, but the clutch master is just like right there in the back. There is a hole there, but you can probably get your hand in there and probably crack that loose, but there is a pin for that steel brake line or clutch line, whatever you want to call it, to disconnect it. So yeah, just I don't know, try going from underneath there into that hole in the wheel well, or maybe I can try to reach my hand and kind of pull out that pin, like right, I don't know if you can see it, right, because the new one doesn't come with it. And it's just this guy, right? There's a little pin that I gotta pull out of it. Okay, so the stupid thing about this is that, let me zoom in for you. That line, right? I can't get the pin out on the bottom of this, like down there. You see what I'm pointing at? And trying to crack that line, this whole bottom part moves, right? Because there's just a rubber O-ring in there, right? So I gotta hold the bottom part just so I can crack that brake line or clutch line at the top there. So yeah, so I just gotta hold it or just wedge it against the side or something, right? It's a 12 millimeter using my line wrench. I can reach underneath there and get it on. Thought about going it underneath the underneath where the wheel well is, but probably just to remove it I can get it out from there. But it sits behind a what do you call it? Sits behind a crevice. So let me see if I can get that line on there. There we go. So I got it wedged, bottom part wedged. So I can crack it loose. Okay, I'm gonna need both hands for this. So slowly but surely I finally got that line off back there. You can see. Just zoom in. Yeah, that guy got the line off. But that bottom part, I don't know, where's my finger? That bottom part, it spins, right? So you gotta hold something at the bottom with the wrench. It's a 17, by the way. And then it's a 12 mil for the line for that nut on top. So yeah, you just gotta slowly back it up. I remember, I think that pin, it goes through to hold that bottom part in, and it's like it's crimped on the other side to get that thing out, and we got to transfer that over to the new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in back underneath the dash, disconnect the two bolts, and I'm going to take the whole, oh, so close, the whole reservoir and the master cylinder out at the same time. All right, so to get that clutch master out, you can't just remove the two bottom bolts. You actually have to loosen that third one up there, because you got to let this thing out, be able to swing, or you won't be able to clear the bend, what do you call it, where the wheel well is, to get that master cylinder out. Yeah, so you definitely gotta, remove the two at the bottom, and then at least just loosen the top so this thing doesn't get caught on the stud, right on this side, or you won't be able to pull the master out at an angle to clear the body of the car. So now that I removed the actual clutch pedal, or loosened the clutch pedal, you can actually pull this out, and you can see everything is dry because it's completely empty. Still got to clear that back there. There we go. Yeah, so in the back here, there's this curved part, right? That's where my finger is, right here, right? And that's hitting at the back part of this clutch master to help to prevent you from actually completely pulling the entire master cylinder out. So you actually have to loosen that top one that's holding the clutch pedal out. And yeah, that's it. Take it out with this, oh, maybe not. Gotta go down to the bottom. It's not gonna come out to the top. It's a hole down in the bottom of the wheel well. So I'll just drop it through there. Yeah, I'll just go grab it from the bottom. Yeah, pretty much it. Other than that, I'd have to take the bracket off to take this reservoir out. There we go. Fell out to the bottom. Alright, so got it on the bench. We got to transfer this. But the stuff in there is nasty. It's like black. It's like tar pretty much. So what I was saying is that pin on this side, they open it up, right? So it, how well that shows. Let me get that out. So you see these guys, they spread them open so they don't come out. So you have to pinch them so you can get them through. And we got to transfer this part over to the new master cylinder. So once you pinched it, right? What I do is I just shove a screwdriver here and then just like pry it off. I'm gonna need a bigger screwdriver. So yeah, you get what I mean. Just gotta pry it out. And that's what it looks like once you pull it out. This thing is plastic actually. I don't think it's metal. Yeah, plastic. There's no O-ring on this side. The O-ring is inside, right? So yeah, there's no O-ring to replace on this thing. Just stick it back in. Nope. Stick it in. Right? And grab your pin wherever it went. Right? O pin, and you just stick it through to hold it in place. I gotta tap it in. Yeah, I gotta turn off my speaker. Don't want to get demonetized from the background music. So yeah, anyways, this goes in, comes out the other side, and I just gotta spread the ends. So let me get a pair of pliers to push that in. Show you how nasty these clutch fluid reservoir are, because nobody ever changes the fluid in them, right? This is how nasty it is. Look at all that stuff. So yeah, make sure you change your clutch fluid, because it's pretty nasty. Which, you can tell this one's never been changed. I'll show you how. I'll dump some out, see how black it is. Ruining my bench. Yeah, that's how black that's just brake fluid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and flush this thing out, make sure it's all clean inside before I swap it over to the new one. So gave it a good douching, make sure it's all nice and clean inside. Rinse that out too. there's the cap, right? And yeah, everything's going to be reverse order of installation. I'm just going to slowly put that line back on, and then we'll bring you to replacing that slave cylinder on the other end. All right, so I got the line kind of threaded in, right, and then I got my wrench over here zap tied to one of the brake lines to hold it in place because I can't get both hands in there. And yeah, now it's just me, wrenching it. Uh-oh. Let me zoom in. Maybe that's a better view. Now I just gotta keep threading that in. But it is in. Actually, I think it's easier without the camera in the way. So that's all I gotta do. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. So yeah, I don't know, the shop manual says, you just have that bottom piece threaded onto the line and then you just pop it into the master cylinder or clutch master, right? And then yeah, and then put the pin in. But how do you spread the other end to keep the pin from popping out? So that's yeah. So I thought about doing it that way, but then how am I going to spread the pin on the other side to keep that in place? So this is what I decided to do. All right, so now I'm time to do the slave cylinder. I got to crack this line loose first, right? But one thing I notice is these bolts, they're loose. This one is not even run down. I don't know if it's because the other guy who looked at it had it loose, or these are just broken. I think they're broken, or the thread's all stripped out. I don't know. So that's that, right? And the other thing I noticed, look at the valve cover. It's all silicone. Look at the valve cover bolts. Silicone. Silicone. All the oil around this area, silicone. And look, had his timing belt done somewhere else. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because somebody didn't put this back properly to begin with. I don't know. So let me just take it apart and see, because that bolt just came right out. And does it have silicone on it, or is that just dirt? Focus. Oh man. Okay. See if I can get a better look. Yeah, it looks like that. Full of dirt. So, same deal at the clutch master cylinder. You gotta hold the bottom part because it has the same thing. It has the little threaded part, and then it has the thing that goes into the slave, and then there's like an O-ring in there. So you gotta hold the bottom to be able to crack this line loose, right? Which I've already cracked loose. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that. Also, you gotta have these connectors. They were just laying around. Had that one connector. One was routed underneath the line, so I took it off, push it onto the side here. That's just for the downstream O2 sensor. And yeah, I hope those threads aren't completely fucked, because I saw the bolt and the end of it looks kind of chowdered up. See? Look at that. See it? So I think somebody screwed up the threads. Right there. You see the thread? I don't know if it's part of the bolt that's broken in there or something, but yeah, look at that. There we go, better. So yeah, I'm gonna wonder what I'm gonna find in there. Hopefully there's threads in there, or I'm gonna be tapping new threads into that. Is it a block, or is it? I think it's the bell housing. All right, and other than that, you can see the zap tied and electrical taped on the that connector there. But like I said, the top bolt wasn't even run down, but that one you can see a gap, right? There's a gap. I tried to run this bolt out, and it definitely feels like it's cross-threaded, and if I back it out, I feel like that bolt's gonna snap. So let me get that. At least I got the line off, at least. And I don't think the threads are all gone on it. If somebody had thread that in there, cross-threaded, maybe it's okay. So So that bolt is not completely tight, and I'm trying to back it off, and it feels like it's going to snap. So that's where I'm at right now. So here, to show you, so I can turn in it, right? But it's tight. So I'm gonna set up the camera. Nope, that's not gonna work. Ah, we'll do it like that. Hopefully it doesn't fall down. So I'm turning it. Right, it's tight all the way out. As you can see, it's rotating. At some point, I feel like it's gonna snap. So I'm gonna stop there and let the service advisor know before I completely break it.
You have enough?
No. So I just told our service advisor, he's walking away, and he's disappointed because apparently he had a lot of stuff done to his transmission, I guess, clutch, stuff like that. You know, other work too, like that. All the coils being replaced, valve cover, timing belt, and stuff. And I guess they broke the or when they installed it or whatever, they broke the they snapped the bolt or whatever. So yeah, this is actually a new customer for us, and we're trying to get their business, of course. And yeah, and this is what happens when you get customers that have their work done at we call it a jobber shop, because they use aftermarket stuff. Because, you know, you can see radiator, ignition coils, siliconed all the valve cover gaskets and stuff. You know, it actually leaks from that plug over there. Not actually, well, the valve cover does leak, but usually the plug leaks. And yeah, you find it. This thing's already broken. I didn't break it. Look, it's like it's been dirty for a while, and that one is just stuck on there, stuck in there, and I can't. Either way, I'm gonna have to get it out to replace it, because this other end of the bolt is stuck in the bell housing. So I'm gonna have to drill it out and re-thread it, right? Probably the other bolt too, because that one's cross-threaded. So yeah, that's what you get for getting cars from, you know, other shops, jobber shops, I guess. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I guess I'm gonna have to snap it and then yeah, drill out those holes. This is extra work that was you know, not intended, because the guy, yeah, and I didn't even look at it prior when I got this job. Anyways, I better get back to work. And yeah, advisor's just it's not having it. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. I took the bolt off. It's completely snapped in there, or cross-threaded in there. Same with the other one. So that one's been fucking broken for a while, because let me scrape the dirt out. See? Like, that's the one I broke, and you can tell I broke it because that's clean. That one's already broken a while ago, because it's all covered in, like, it's just dirty, you know, like from a while. If it was freshly broken, it would be nice and shiny. Jobber shops, eh? That's why this clutch, there's no clutch pedal. Anyways, this day, it's just this day. It's funny, I'm trying to get a picture for the customer. I'm looking at his old iPhone, and it's like, camera quality sucks. But, you know, looking through my phone, it's clear as day. But yeah, my advisor here isn't happy about this. Our advisor is back. What did you say about the shop that worked on this car before?
So the last shop that worked on this car has currently closed down now, so the customer ain't getting his money back.
Okay. That's our service advisor. I can't show his face though. You can see his crotch. He wants to put his face in there, but I'm not allowed to do it. Okay, so as I was drilling, it started spinning inwards. So that tells me that the top part might be just chowdered up, over torqued, and then snapped, and then, you know, kind of messed up the top of the threads a little bit. So also I got this one out. This one came out fine. So as I was drilling it, it started spinning inwards. So now I can get the top few threads. I'm gonna get my thread chaser. It's a 8x125. clean up the threads, right? Clean up the top threads, and then hopefully I can clean up the threads at the top enough for it to spin out. Yeah, as I was maybe drill it down some more, the center part, and then maybe get an extractor and then start extracting the that broken bolt in there. So run my thread chaser at the top, which yeah, I only run down so far. Kind of looks straight, but I don't think it looks straight right there. So yeah, maybe I'll take it out and see. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, once I can get that piece inside there out, I can put the new slave cylinder. So yeah, as you can hear from the service advisor, that shop closed down, and I guess customers, you know, left with, I guess, nothing. But you know, when a shop closes down, our dealership gets a new customer, and yeah, so there you go. All right, so I'm just tapping the threads, make sure the threads are all good now. But I just kept drilling it and kept going up a size on a drill bit until like it was paper thin, and I just kept trying to pick out the rest of the metal stuff. So I'm just running down the tap all the way down to make sure the threads are all good, and then we can install the new slave cylinder. And here's the slave cylinder. I got 2 new bolts, right? So now that I got the slave cylinder in, we're gonna torque it to the proper spec, and it's shop manual says it's 16 foot-pounds. See if I can do it with one hand. Oh man, this is an awkward angle. No wonder nobody torques these to spec. Let me get a longer extension. Okay, I got a longer extension. Apparently, with these snap-on torque wrenches, they are even if you put an extension on it, it won't affect the torque specs very much. So let me just run these bolts in. I should have done that before I started the video. Let me just twist them on. That one's down. Oh, okay, one-handing. There we go, 16. Now the other bolt. Josh should probably run it down too. There we go. There you go, 16. Okay, that's tight now. So I can put the clutch line back on, and then fill up the reservoir, and then bleed the hydraulic system, I guess. So yeah. All right, as you can see, new slave cylinder in, but now the line doesn't even line up with the slave. So it's time for some gentle massaging to get it into the right spot, I guess, because this thing was completely cockeyed. So I got the line on, and I'm trying to figure out where these things go. I think there's supposed to be a bracket somewhere. I'm not sure where, because these connectors are supposed to, you see these things on the back, it's supposed to go into a bracket, right? Same thing with this guy. There's supposed to be a bracket that goes onto, but I don't see any brackets around, and it looks like they just wrapped it around here, zip tied it, or something like that. So I'm probably gonna figure out where I'm gonna attach this to, so that way it doesn't bounce around, or it gets, you know, touching the exhaust and it melts or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. Other than that, I'm just gonna bleed the system, you know, crack the bleeder, fill up the reservoir. I usually use my brake bleeder to get the fluid out, and then I just finish it off by pumping the clutch pedal a couple times, and then yeah, that should be it. Yeah, pretty much top up the fluids, you know, fill her up, and I got my vacuum there sucking. It's a little bit of vacuum in there because it's if I leave it on all the time, it's just gonna completely suck it way faster than I can fill it. So yeah, once that's good, I'm gonna get a buddy to do a bit of a final bleed. Don't let shops like this do this to your car, I guess. I don't know. My manager actually came up to me and asked me how this thing's going, because he heard it came from a hack job. So anyways, all right guys, so everything is done. right? The only thing left is to make sure it moves, which it does, right? Judging from all the stuff I see underneath the hood, I hope there's nothing else that's wrong with it. But anyways, I hope you liked the video. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm pretty sure this customer is coming back for other repairs. So, new customer. Also, I can hear there's also an exhaust leak too. I think it has a cracked manifold.